Okay, so I came across a really interesting chess endgame that I wanted to show just briefly here. This is the starting position. It's white to move here, and white can win this position. If you like, pause the video, take a look at this position first, and see what you think. What can you figure out? Um, the first thing to keep in mind is that because black has a queen, there's going to be check, check, check. Basically, white's king is too vulnerable to these checks, and you will not be able to stop them. Black should have perpetual check here if white doesn't do anything. So, because of that, I first thought, okay, we need to play some checks. My first thought was here, queen to d4 check, and there's a few traps to watch out for if you're black in this position. But I figured after king moves over, we don't have anything. So I'll go ahead and pull up the analysis board. Whoopsies. Here. So if queen here, then the king can just slide over. And I thought there's no problem. There are no more meaningful checks here for white. If we check on this square, well, he can just move over again. And then if, say, a knight check, he can just bring his king here, and there's not going to be anything here. White is just out of steam, the knight is hanging, and there's going to be perpetual check somewhere. So that didn't work. So I thought queen check here in the center, while it looks good, doesn't really help. So the only other move is knight here. And now I thought this was a very good idea, because knight here restricts these two squares. So the black king has to go to one of these three squares highlighted now. If the black king goes here to b7, then the knight will have this square, d6, and fork the king and queen. So can you see that? Here, king over, forked, and this will be winning for white. So this is off limits. So you only have two options left for the white king. And no matter where you go, you're walking into this discovered check by the white queen. So I thought this was quite powerful. For example, if king goes here to b8, then the knight moves out of the way with check, attacking the queen. And there's no way for black to save their queen, and white will win this position too. So the only move is king here to a8, which allows this double check idea. But if double check, we just move, and again, there's no problems. So the point here is that if you attack the queen, well, then he will block the check and get out of danger. So after reaching this position, I got to say, I was stumped. I was a little bit confused. I thought my idea worked, so I started calculating again here. There is only one check for white in this position, but it turns out that it's the right answer. Queen bounces all the way down here to h1, check on the long diagonal. And because of this knight position, there's never going to be queen b7 to block, because we will just take that queen for free. So the king has to move. Now the king's threatening to escape here, so we check on g1, on the dark squares. Now this is very important. He can't escape by moving his king. He could go back to the corner, which is what he must do. If the queen blocks, then we always have this fork. The knight and queen are working so well together here. So that is not going to work. So he has to go back to the corner. And then we move up here to g2. We could go back to h1, but we want to make progress. And this is how we're going to do it. Again, there's no queen blocks. The king has to go here, and we slide over to f2. Check, again. Again, no queen block because the knight fork. So, do you see what's happening here? We're going to make a staircase all the way in. So these moves are all forced. Black has nothing better to do here. Final check, and king here. Now we can't get any closer. Queen b6 check is obviously suicidal. And if we go back, that's what we had before. So that doesn't help us. The difference here is that the queen, whoops, excuse me, the queen having made this journey is now protecting this h8 square. So the knight can check here. And black has only one legal move here, and that's to give up their queen for the knight. After the exchanges, white will win this game easily. And for example, these moves and mate. So I think it was so beautiful here from the starting position. The way that white makes a plan here, it's everything runs with check. Every move that white plays is check in this position, because if you're the white player here, you know you can't give black a turn, because they will take that turn and find a perpetual check, and then they'll score a draw, which wouldn't be not in white's favor here. Knight check is forced. You recognize that this queen check does nothing. King there, only move. Knight here, check. Pay attention. Attacking the queen, only one move to save the queen. And now you make this staircase. Stairway to heaven. Only once you get here to the... Oh, and something to note here. Now you're covering this this checking square, except it's not check. So it doesn't really help. Very important that you run with check. Every move is check. Knight c8, takes, and the rest is easy. So I don't know what you call this type of pattern here, but I thought this was very interesting. So hopefully you learned something about how the queen and knight can coordinate their attacks, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.